So the lesson 17 drill sheet, what questions do you guys have about what we have here? One of the things I'd like to do with whatever your questions are, or if you don't have any, I'll walk you through several, is to show you the method in my madness for how to parse these verb forms. So one of the things you need to do is to have your handout that has the prefixes and suffixes for the imperfect so that you can look at those. Any specific questions you guys have for the drill sheet? Number 9, let's go ahead and read this real quickly. Go ahead and repeat after me. Tishmatna et devar Adonai. Okay, so let's talk about what we would want to do in terms of identifying what's here. First of all, the verb form is tishmatna. The et here is indicating the direct object. Okay, so somebody's doing something et devar Adonai. What does that mean? Well, no, don't do this part. I'm just talking about the et devar Adonai, the word of Adonai, or the Lord, right? So the word of the Lord. So what is the verb form? Well, can you identify 3 verbal roots? Are there any identifiable roots? Yes, Shema. So we have Shin, Mem, Ayin, right? And so I would want to identify my root letters so that I can bracket out the things on the outside and identify the prefixes and suffixes that I see here. So I have a tav prefix and a na suffix. In the imperfect conjugation, which forms do that? The imperfect 3FP and 2FP, right? And what stem are we in? It's always the cal, okay? Until we get to chapter 26. So this is a cal imperfect, I'm sorry, I missed my F there, 3FP, 2FP. Now, how am I going to translate this? If it's 3FP, I'm going to translate this how? They will shema. They will listen, or they will hear. And if it's 2FP, it's you, all, y'all, you women will listen or hear the word of Adonai. Okay? So find your 3 root letters and then identify the prefixes and suffixes. And then you can figure out who the subject is. Okay, other questions? Happy to do several of these. We can practice. Look at 16. What's my identifiable verbal root? What are the 3 root letters? Shin, Beit, Tav. Shabbat, right? Shabbat. So I have a Tav in front and a Kirik Yod on the back end. Which person, gender, number in the imperfect is a Tav Kirik Yod combination? So this is the imperfect 2FS. Okay? So who's going to do this action? It's a you woman. You will shavat. Now you just have to know, what do those 3 root letters mean? You will rest. Yes, you will rest. Or you will cease. Woman, you will cease. Yes.
So how come it's Tishvat instead of Tishvat?
Ah, yes. Okay, so the bet here is a Begad Kafat letter. Remember Begad Kafat letters? Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Kaf, Pe, Tav. Right? These Begad Kafat letters have a Dagesh Lene in them, which is what that dot is. That dot will go away if there is a vowel sound or a vocal shava before the Begad Kafat letter. This shava is a silent shava right before. So I don't have any vowel sound before the bet. So it keeps its Dagesh Lene, and when it's got the Dagesh Lene, it's a hard B pronunciation, b. But if I put a vowel sound before it, then it becomes v, and I lose that Dagesh Lene dot.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Like here, I have devarai. That's a vocal shava, not a silent shava. And the bet, which would normally have a Dagesh Lene to preserve the hard b sound, is lost, and so now it's deva. Deva. Okay? All right. Other questions? Number 12? Yeah, let's look at 12. Everybody say this with me. Tizkor et devarai. Okay. So tizkor, this is a newer verb for you, but what's the verbal root?
Zakor.
Yeah, it's the Zayin, Kaf, Resh. Now, you might say, well, there's 3 verbal roots. Why not these? Tav, Zayin, Kaf. Why not those 3? Yeah, there's no suffix that has a resh hanging on the end, right? That's not a verbal ending. But a tav is a verbal prefix, isn't it? So it doesn't make sense to assume the first 3 are my root letters. Rather, it's the last 3, and then we can make sense of a tav prefix with no ending. What is that in the Cal imperfect? It's imperfect. 2 possibilities here, right? 3FS or 2MS. Okay? So, again, it's Cal. So what does Zahar mean? It's close. To remember. To remember. Yes. Now, how will I translate this if it's 3FS? She will remember. Tizkor, she will remember. And if it's 2MS? You man will remember. Et devarai. This is marking my direct object. Devarai. Which pronoun is this yod here? First common singular. Remember that? Devarai. So my, and is what I have here singular or plural? The yod by itself does not help me, because if it's my singular or my plural thing, it's still a yod. Remember what I told you to remember. If there's a dot before the yod, a single dot, the noun is singular, and if there's any other vowel before the yod, the noun is plural. Okay? So look at what I have. There's not a single dot before this yod, is it? Is there? So this is a plural form of devar. So it's you or she will remember my words. Words. What if it were my word? Who remembers how you'd say that? That would be the plural construct, the words of someone. But my word, one, would be devari. Devari with a kirik yod. Devarai, my words. Okay. Any other questions on the drills here?
Can you say one more time? You said Vav at the end. It's masculine, but you said it was what kind of suffix? The third.
It's a third masculine singular, which means his. His. Yes.
And if it's a yod at the end.
It's my. One common singular. First person is I, and singular, and common means that the gender could be male or female, right? A woman could use this form, and a man could use this form. Let's look at number 4 real quickly, okay? Everybody say this with me. Evtach. Evtach. And what's my verbal root here? Is it aleph, bet, tate? Or bet, tate, chet? Yeah, betach. So these are my verbal roots. And so I've got my aleph prefix before the first one. Which person gender number is that? First common singular. Exactly. So I'm going to translate this as I will do something, right? And what does betach mean? Trust. So I will trust Belohim in God. I will trust in God. Great. What about number 1? I have Yisrof. Say that with me. Yisrof. What are my root letters?
Saraf.
Yep, saraf. Sin, resh, pei. And a yod prefix and no personal ending on the back. That's imperfect 3ms, right? So how would I translate that? 3ms is not I. That's he. He will saraf, and that's he will burn. He will burn. Now look at what I got. Et sepharai. Which pronoun is that yod? First common singular. He will burn my something. And are you sure this is plural or is it singular? Plural. It's plural. That's right. My book would be Safari. Okay. Oh, actually, it would be Sifri. The vowel changing would be different here too. Sifri. Okay, great. So, he will burn. Yishmor. We did shamar a little while ago. What's shamar mean? Guard. To guard or keep. Yod prefix is who? 3ms. He will guard or keep. Otam. Them. This is the third masculine plural pronoun suffix attached to the direct object marker. Okay? He will keep them. Okay. Number 11. Number 11. I just realized we haven't done one of these. Nimkor, everybody. Nimkor. Nimkor. What's my verbal root? Yeah, makar. Makar. Remember what makar means? To sell. Remember the memory device? I've got to sell makar. Okay? Sell makar. Got a noon prefix. Which imperfect inflection has a noon with nothing after? 1CP. Okay? So, how will I translate this? We will sell ota. Is this with or direct object marker? It's the direct object marker. And the pronoun is what? Person, gender, number. Third, feminine, singular. Okay? So it's either we will sell her or we will sell it, some feminine singular noun. The mayor, right? Or the city, or something like that. Okay, good. Anybody have any final questions on the drill sheet?
Can you go over that the aleph with the carrot one more time?
The aleph with the carrot. Oh, number 7?
Itanu.
Yeah, itanu. Itanu. Yes. So so the et here can be two things when there's absolutely nothing attached to it as a pronoun suffix. This could be the direct object marker, or it can be the preposition that means with. Okay? I can't tell the difference between those two. When I put the makaf after it, the sere becomes a segal. Eight becomes et. All right? But there's still no pronominal suffix attached. So these are both potentially the same thing. They could mark the direct object or they could be the preposition with. But I can tell the difference when I add pronoun suffixes to the ets. And whenever I have a dagesh forte, which is the dot in the tav, it's always with. Okay, that's the rule. And so the little memory device we gave was if the form occurs with a dagesh forte, it means with. Okay? Otherwise, it's the direct object marker. So notice otam and ota, right? Neither of these have the dagesh forte in that tav. This one has the dagesh forte. It occurs with the dagesh forte, it's with. Here, it's the direct object marker. It's what they keep and sell. So he will keep them, and we will sell it. Okay? Here, let's contrast this. Why not? Itanu over here versus otanu over here. You see the difference?
It doesn't have the dagesh.
Yes, this one does not have the dagesh. This one does, right? So this one is the direct object marker. And this is the first common plural pronoun attached to it. So they captured otanu, they captured us, not they captured with us. Okay, they captured us, direct object. Here, they made a covenant with us. See, the covenant here is the direct object, and this is telling you with whom they make the covenant.
So the dog is just saying you with us. You don't see it.
If you don't see it, then it's the direct object marker. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's look at the Ross homework now. Let me pull that up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's go through number 6 here. And why don't you repeat after me? We'll read this. Macharta et achicha la'anashim hayoredim el hanahar. Okay, so macharta. What is the root letter? What are the root letters of macharta? Machar. And what does it mean? To sell. And here I have no prefixes. Rather, I have the endings that I associate with the perfect conjugation, right? Which person, gender, number is ta at the end of a perfect verb? It's 2ms. Yep. So ta is you man did something, and ka is your man, your something, right? Your horse, your cow, whatever. Okay, so macharta, you machard, you sold. Okay, remember the perfect, our default translation will be past tense, unless contextually there's a reason to go with present. So you sold et achicha. Yes. Now, you cannot tell whether this is the direct object marker or the preposition with, but since machar takes a direct object, right, to sell something, you would assume that this is the direct object here. So you sold your, there's the ka for 2ms, your brother. Now, are we sure it's one brother, or could it be plural brothers? It's one. How do I know that? Well, look, I have a yod before the pronoun. That should make me think it's plural, right? But what do I have to also look for? The vowel right before the yod. If it's a single dot, the noun is singular, right? Single dot before the yod means the noun is singular. So you sold your one brother. La anashim, to the men. Ha yoredim, the men, the yoredim. What kind of a form is this? It's an absolute. You see the eem? That's masculine plural absolute, isn't it? You've got an article on it, for sure. So what's the yarad here? It's a participle form, okay? So there's a verb, yarad, to go down. Yes. And whenever root 1 gets a holum or a holum vav, that is a kal participle. Okay? Normally, the kal participle is holum sere, yo-raid. Yo-raid. But if I make it plural, the sere reduces to a vocal shava. So yo-raid, yo-raid becomes yo-redeem and yo-redot. Okay? So why is this masculine plural? Because it's agreeing with the masculine plural noun. Why does it have the article? Because it's agreeing with the article that's been swallowed up by the lamed preposition. Remember, lamed, bet, and kaf are hungry letters. They chomp the article, but leave the vowel of the article. So it's to the men, the going down. How do you want to translate that into English? You sold your brother to the men going down the river. Or to the men going down the river. What does El mean? To. So to the men going down to the river. Or to the men who were going down to the river. Yeah, yo redeem. It's because of the participle. The participle gives it that continual nuance. The going down to the river men is the idea. That's who you sold them to. Okay, so there you go. So remember, we call this an attributive participle. It follows the noun and agrees in gender, number, and definiteness. That's what attributive participles and adjectives do. All right, so that's number 6. Other questions? Number 7. We will just go through the translation here. So I have Yid-Rashu, Darash, with a Yod on the front end and a Shurik on the back end. What does Darash mean? To inquire. And who's doing the inquiring here? They, men, 3MP. So they will inquire, and then look at HaNavi'im. So is this the subject or the object here? It's the subject. Verb, subject, and is there a direct object somewhere? Yes. It's over here, right? So direct object with the et. So they will inquire or ask who? The Lord. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, so now let's talk about who the subject is. HaNavi'im, HaKakamim. The Navi'im is the prophets, the Hakamim. That's not a noun, that's an adjective. So it's wise. It's wise. The prophets, the wise. It agrees in masculine plural gender, and it agrees in definiteness. So this is an attributive adjective. What kind of prophets? The wise prophets will seek or inquire of God, Adonai. V'yizkaru, there's Zakar with the Yod in front and the Shurik again, 3MP, and they will remember et mitzvotav. Direct object, and it's, you've got it, that's 3MS, but is his stuff singular or plural? You see the Yod before? Yep, mitzvot, the ot is plural, and the Yod tells me it's plural. So it's his commandments, right? So they will remember his commandments. So there you go.